I always feel weird talking about somebody else's life, like I'm grading it or reviewing it or something. These filmmakers put me in weird positions. Okay, I don't really want to like tell you that your life is insignificant or doesn't matter. So stop making movies about your life. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of The Inspection. I'm a blind film critic, so I watched this with audio description, and this film has audio description on iTunes, which is currently just what I do every time I see an A24 film, because I know it goes to Showtime, and I get Showtime on Paramount Plus, and Paramount Plus hasn't figured out how to get audio description on anything from Showtime, so sure as hell I'm not going to get any audio description on any A24 films. So I have to rent every A24 film. It's my blind tax. That's the tax that I pay for being blind. So The Inspection. This is the film that the world knows, hey, what the fuck is that? When they announced the Golden Globe nominations and Jeremy Pope got a nomination. That's that film. This is that film. I'm just finally getting around to it. No, it didn't get any Oscar nominations. It got some other like indie nominations, which is kind of appropriate. It's fine. I didn't hate this movie. I'm just very conflicted with it. It brought the gay out of me. It brought my what do I want to say here? It brought the judgy the judgy gay in me out, where I was like, I don't know what this. I don't know what the message here is. And the film just sort of, its timing and everything just kind of made me really uncomfortable. And like the choices and everything in the film. I think the film is ultimately fine and has kind of a message about this dude's life, but there were some choices that were made that I just didn't really land with me as a gay man. Then again, I'm not a gay black man, so I don't know. I don't think that this film is entirely about race. At the end of the day, this film is about being gay, not being black. Because when he gets to boot camp, his Jeremy Pope, his drill sergeant, the guy that's on top, is black, Bokeem Woodbine. So he's not experiencing racism from his drill sergeant. He's experiencing the fact that he is obviously he's a little feminine in his movement and qualities, and even though he answers the question of, are you now or have you ever been a homosexual, which is shouted at him at like the loudest possible volume, with no, I think they can see that he's bullshit. The supporting cast here is good. I don't understand the hype for Gabrielle Union. Do we just want to give her an award that badly? She's in like 3 scenes in the film, basically. 4 if you count the one where she doesn't speak. She's in 4 if you count one she wasn't speaking. Yeah, it's not. It is truly a supporting performance because it really does not have a whole lot of screen time. She opens up the film with Jeremy Pope coming home. Jeremy Pope plays her son. I know, we live at a point where Gabrielle Union is now old enough. It's blowing my mind, too. Because I still remember Gabrielle Union from the teen comedies of my day. She's All That and Bring It On, which she was a little old for back then. She was a little older than the rest of the cast. I knew that. I knew that was one of the things I remembered about Gabrielle Union. Was she was already older than the rest of the cast. But it's still weird to me. It's still weird to me that the girl from Bring It On now has like a grown-ass son who's so old that he's going into the Marines. I don't know what to do. I feel so old. But Jeremy Pope shows up, and she's got like the chain lock on the door, and she's hesitant to let him in. And then she does this thing where she puts down like paper on the couch, and I'm like, is it because you're worried about him having been homeless, or is this like a gay thing? Because I really can't tell. She seems to just be generally appalled and disgusted by him. Like, he has done something, and you don't really pick up on a lot of it until later on. Like, there's no real talk about like drug use. He doesn't have AIDS or anything like that. Like, he's not. I don't. So when she's like protecting her furniture from him, I'm like, what the fuck is the message behind this? What is your problem? Like, the film takes place in a post 9/11 era. This is not during the AIDS scare. So this woman is putting down crap to protect her furniture from her gay son. And I don't know why. And he believes that he can fix this relationship by joining the Marines. I think his father was a Marine, if I picked up on that in the film correctly. I think that was... So he goes off and joins the Marines so that he could fix his relationship with his mom. You should not have to do... We are sending the wrong message to gay kids. This is not the message to be sending. Is go join the Marines. If your parents like the Marines, then maybe they'll like you if you're gay and a Marine. No. Like, I don't understand this film. I know it's this dude's personal life story. That's why I said at the top, I feel really weird judging a film's life story because it's this guy, and it's written and directed by, I noticed the guy's name is the same name as the lead character in the film, so that has to be for a reason. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with that. We move forward, and of course he's treated like crap. He actually literally dies at one point in the film and has to be resuscitated. And he's like, I'm going to report, he wants to report somebody, and he goes and he almost reports somebody, and then he doesn't. And I was like, oh my God. Anyway, I was hoping, I was like, oh, we got a whiplash. Whiplash is going on here. And he finds solace in some friendships, which is really odd because he's able to tell that one is a friendship, and then the other one he tries to turn into something more. I don't think that the other one is not was not trying to throw him a bone, and be like, hey, we should hook up, It also really confused me why he would put that in there, and why did he really do that? Did you just get into a shower with a straight guy with that little of context? Do you just confuse people being nice to you as them flirting with you? Is it that desperate in life? I don't know. This film has me so confused as a gay man. I am just so... I'm almost always reviewing films from just the blind perspective, and I'm like, I'm just blind, and this is what my life is. And then, occasionally we talk about films that have LGBT content, and I get to... This one was just like, I don't know. I don't know. Now, if I take that out of the experience, and I look at this film... objectively, I would say this is sort of like Jeremy Pope's Tigerland in many ways. The performances here are strong, regardless of how I feel about the script or the film. Jeremy Pope does do a good job. I don't know that he's in my top 10 of the year. The film just doesn't allow for that. It doesn't give him... His breakdown moments are not nearly what other people's breakdown moments in other films of this ilk have actually been. So it's hard to say, yes, throw awards at Jeremy Pope. I think he's showing a lot of potential for the future here. I think just like Colin Farrell did, that's why I'm comparing it to Tigerland. Nobody was going, oh my God, Colin Farrell, Oscar for Tigerland. We were going, oh, this Colin Farrell kid, he's got something. And that's kind of how I feel like with The Inspection and Jeremy Pope, is it's going, oh, this kid, he's got something. And later on down the line, we may see something from Jeremy Pope where he really just gives some terrific performances. Colin Farrell's career is littered with them. The fact that he is just now getting an Academy Award nomination is bizarre. He had to deliver like 4 great performances in 1 year just to get an Oscar nomination. He had to make it irrefutable for him to get an Oscar nomination. But yeah, it's I wouldn't have nominated him, and he's not in my top 10 for the year. I like Bokeem Woodbine. I think he's a great actor. I think he does a good job here, but he's how many drill sergeants have we seen like this before? You know, I mean, I think they all owe something to Arlie Ermy, who you know, back in the day with Full Metal Jacket. But anyway, there's only just so excited I can be about that. Supporting cast, Raul Castillo kind of is the standout. With a little bit of screen time that he has, I guess it's a good performance. And Gabrielle Union, why, I don't know, because she just doesn't normally take on this kind of a role, I guess is the lesson here. But there's her role is hate, and then all of a sudden just like, oh my God, I love you, I'll always love you. And I was like, what is happening in this film? And I realize this is this dude's life. I do. I so totally realize. But is it? Is this really like 100% your life? Or did you dramatize? Or did you change them? Like, I don't know. Damn. So, I don't know really what to do. I hate to say that I have a gay grade for this, and then I have like a, how do I think other people will perceive it? Because other people find shit like this heartwarming and uplifting. And to some extent I can see that. Like, I see through Jeremy Pope's performance, I see the film is structured well. It's just the themes that sort of run through the film kind of bother me a little bit. And ultimately its message of how far he has to go to try to get his mother's attention. He shouldn't have to do that. And we should not be telling people in this day and age that this is what you need to be doing. This film feels too modern, you know, to be telling that story. This film needs to feel like it's coming from like the 1970s, not the 2000s. So I know that still in the 2000s, people were not as accepting as they were, but we had, you know, the whole AIDS HIV movement had already moved past. We had already had, you know, Will and Grace, and like some things had happened where it was not so, you know, like a unicorn in the world in terms of existence. So I just I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I got nothing here. The Inspection, weird. I'm sure other gay people will find that they have their own connections to this film. And that's that. So the audio description here is nice. It's a female narrator. I don't necessarily care. I don't feel like we're missing representation. Like, it's not a black story. I know it feels like, because like the 3 top people in the cast are black, that this may be like racially centric. It's not. It's really LGBT. So unless you're gonna throw in, Shangela doing doing the audio description, I don't really know. I don't really know how you put representation in the audio description here, because it's hard to know how somebody identifies. Like, I'm not going to call somebody out and be like, do you identify as this? It's hard enough to do it when you're listening to somebody's voice and you're like, sounds white. Audio description is really hard to try to be like, is representation here? But I don't know that it matters that as much, in the way that people would think, but I wasn't bothered by it. It was actually kind of nice because basically I think Gabrielle Union is the only female really in the film of any substantial character that speaks. So having a female narrator meant I never was confusing the voice. It never mixed with anything else. It always stood out in the audio description, and it did a really good job of doing that. This film has good audio description. So there you go. There's the blind side and the gay side and how do I think people will react to this side? And people seem to have already reacted to this side. Where am I going to grade this thing? I'm going to give it a break. I'm being nice. I've decided to be nice to this film. This is this dude's life. And while I disagree with his decision to try to share it with the world as being like an uplifting message of hope that if you join the Marines, your mother might love you, I think the movie is well made as it is, even if I don't agree with its message. And I think the movie is well acted. I don't know that it's Oscar level acted, but it does check off a lot of boxes, as most A24 films do. So I'm going to go ahead and give The Inspection a B. So there you go. No, this does not appear in any of my top 10 lists of any acting categories or writing or anything down the line. But I think you'll be fine. And if you're worried about gay content, there's a lot of talk. It's very little show and a lot of talk. There's a little bit of show. I'm not going to say there's no show. I'm not going to say there's no visually suggestive stuff, but yeah, it's mostly just talking about it. So anyway, thanks for watching my review. Thanks for being here and listening to my blind perspective on the film. That's what it always says primarily. What I mean, but I am other things too. So sometimes those things come into play. And you can go to my website. If you haven't already subscribed here, subscribe. You can go to my website, macmovieguy.com. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at macmovieguy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. And you can go to the adna.org. That's the adna.org. And this will let you know who is describing your favorite films and television series. That's it for me today. I'm glad I wore my Friday the 13th shirt for this. This makes absolutely no sense, but I will see you guys on the other side.